Beth O'Brien. I'm a member at Eagles Nest Church, and I have been offering a Bible study this summer and this fall, and I've been asked to help contribute to the daily dose, which the women are putting together about the ministry at Eagles Nest. And Bible studies is definitely under worship and understanding the Lord, and that's why I've been asked to speak. So I'd like to start just to begin with a verse, encouragement for me and for those listening, that may the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be pleasing in your sight, O Lord, my rock and redeemer. Well, I want to let you know I've had a lot of great joy facilitating a number of Bible studies, both here in Delaware and my 40 years in New Jersey. And in these studies, many gifted teachers like Priscilla Schreier and Beth Moore and Joyce Meyer and all of them, and many others help us to sift out God's truths for us and make them understandable in His wisdom and His guidance and His holy word. And He shows us how to apply these studies, help us to show us how to work this into our life and see the good and the truth of them. And what I especially loved about the women's Bible studies is the fact that as women we discuss and share our struggles, or maybe we just sit there and listen to each other's journeys. And we end up helping each other understand and experience God's love. And it's not like it's anything I'm doing. It's God is with us and He's opening us up. And I've often had trouble trying to confirm whether God is telling me to do something or not do something. And I have found that in the women's studies, God will then speak to me. He'll confirm either no or yes. But I do find that other women's voices and God's message comes through in them a lot of times. And so I just want to let you know that's one extra thing that I really love about how God uses women. But what I want to say here, let's find my notes here. My point is that while I was sharing of our experiences, while we share our experience and walk with God, we start to clearly see God's hand in our own lives. We saw His love, His wisdom. We see His love and wisdom and His guidance for each of us as we wrestle with our questions. And when we share our struggles with understanding God's love and sharing our victories, we grow more in love with God and actually with each other. We become prayer warriors for each other. We see and experience that God's commandments are really lights on our paths rather than chains on our choices and desires. And God's examples and sermons point the way to love with each other and even how we can love our own enemies. Jesus tells us the dangers and what to avoid. He tells us to love all and not to judge. He points out truth, and His Holy Spirit guides us. Well, each one of us has some experiences following Jesus or choosing not to. And so we can relate to each other and help each other in this walk through the Bible study and the material we're trying to absorb and understand. But we want to remember that the commands and the laws of God, we often think, keep us from having fun. But as we study, we see just the opposite, that the law revives us and makes us wise and gives us joy to our hearts and hope to our tired spirits. God gives us light as to what was a dark path, and He warns us. He also rewards us when we obey. He desires what is best for us, and He is our good Father after all, and He will give us good gifts. And women are a good gift to each other. And in Hebrews 10:25, we are told and reminded, and let us not neglect our meeting together, as some people do, but encourage one another all the more, especially now that the day of His return is drawing near. So if you've never done a Bible study, or if you've not done one in a while, I hope you will consider signing up for one. The joys are many, and God is the creator of them all. He created you, and He knows exactly how to bless you and how to use you to be a huge blessing to us just by being yourself and showing up. My last little comment, my life verse is, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not depend on your own understanding. In all your ways, seek His will, and He will show which path to take. So I pray that this message blesses you and that we'll see you at church in a Bible study. And just say hello. I'm Beth O'Brien, and I'd love to meet you. Okay, bye-bye.